All right. Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. The first thing we need to do is approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Sean and Curtis. Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second it.
Curtis and Jill. Moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Recognitions.
I'll take the opportunity to recognize the rousing success of the Longhorn Festival. Well over 500 people were there. Continues to grow. Thanks go out to Wheatland for providing the food, and then just for everybody in the staff who was there to help run the thing, and then all the people who showed up. Then also, he's not here tonight, but I want to give Tom kudos. If you guys recall, we had had that CNC group, did that energy audit at the high school and the middle school. The idea being that if we set up the system, it is keeping track of 29 different data points, and it would basically even out the electrical load on when the HVAC comes on or a heater comes on, right? And when they came back and said, your system's running so well, it's 1 out of 200 districts has run this well, and frankly, because of Tom. So Tom deserves kudos for that. Doing a nice job of, saving the money as best we can on the electric bills. So that's my report. I mean, that's my stuff.
All right. All right, let's move to financials. Mike.
Okay, on page 1 of the warrants down at the bottom, Davis Electric, they finally put in the generator, and so we're paying them the rest of it, $27,395. And then on page 2, High Plains down towards the bottom, we're paying them our second quarter payment, $93,752. And on page 3 at the top, Holcomb Recreation, we just had $19,000 worth of tax money flow through to them. And then on page 5, SGH Concepts, $11,458 to repair the skylights at the high school. So the total warrants for this month on page 6, $399,178.51. And then on page 8, our cash balances are where we need them to be at this time. And then our expense summary on page 10, where we expect to be this time too with our budget. And then behind that's the high school and middle school reports. So if you have any questions.
If no one has any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financials at $399,178.51.
So moved. Second.
Ryan and Curtis. Moved and seconded to approve the financials. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, no public patron concerns, so administrative reports and Dr. Myers.
All right, I've got 2 things to talk to you about. We had our first district site council summit meeting a week and a half ago. The buildings all have the site councils that meet once a month, and so we pulled together and have all the different site councils come together twice a year, once per semester. People say it's not a big district. We know what's going on everywhere. Not really, and so it's nice to have the high school representatives here to hear about the elementary school and vice versa. So that took place. We had 10 people show up, plus our building administrators. Each one of them talked, 2 or 3 initiatives that were going on, and basically tried to have a good conversation and get feedback. So that's all good. For the first time since I've been here, we will probably be republishing the budget later in the year because our at-risk dollars came in higher than we thought they would. So when the process comes to us, we'll republish and we'll reap the benefits, about $95,000 worth. Interestingly, we generally sit around about 42% of our families on free and reduced lunches. We're now at 55%. I can't tell you why, but that's factual numbers, and that's tied to why at-risk funding is, coming in like it is. So as we get closer to the time for the republishing, I'll let you know. That's it, Matt.
Okay. All right, let's move, okay, so who's gone? Sam?
And Tom.
Okay, so Tom's gone. Lance is here, though.
Yeah,
Hey,
Lance
Lance, you're up.
Hey, nothing further.
Okay. Sam's gone. Food service? Monica's
Donna's
not.
here. But
Okay.
Got nothing.
All right, Mr. Ackerman?
One thing to add to my report.
Wait here to the mic, please.
Yes, sir.
The people in the audience,
Thank
he's always on
you.
us.
You've been
He's-
waiting, you've been dying to do that forever.
I wasn't just trying to be a jerk.
One thing to add to my report is that the construction is going to begin this week. The crew has left Kansas City area and came in last night, or tonight, I believe. We have supplies that have come in. The conduit reel is over by the shop, and we'll do a walkthrough on Wednesday to finalize things, but they're going to start construction on the trenching tomorrow. I believe they're going to start at the FFA barn because it's the longest run, or one of the longest runs. So you'll see the flags are already out. They've already done all the locates, majority of the locates, and they'll finish them up. The crew will finish them up. They're here, and we'll see them begin trenching, and they expect to be done majority of laying of the conduit within 10 days, and hope to be completely finished by the end of October.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Okay, now let's go to our principals and Mrs. Albright.
I just wanted to touch on our KISA update that we went to a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So as part of that, they talked about having a display of some type in order to show our progress throughout the year on our goals. And since our goal is with the FastBridge data, that's only tested 3 times a year. And so we have to have some type of measure to indicate how our students are progressing throughout the year. So we're going to be having scoreboards, is what they're going to be called, hanging in the hallways by the grade levels. And our teachers have been working really hard in PLCs on digging deep into common assessment data. And we worked with Dr. Lofink the last time, and so we're excited to kind of dig into that a little bit further. But each team brings their common assessment, and they really dive deep into that data, you know, why the students are missing particular questions and what they need to do in the classroom to reteach that material in order for it to be mastered. And then they will take the unit or the average score of the unit assessments, and we will display that on our scoreboard, hoping to see that the scores will balance out with our progress on our FastBridge testing. So we're excited to get that going.
Thank you, Amy. All right, Mrs. Tyne.
So to kind of tie into that, we recently had our professional learning on the 26th, I believe it was, where we did a half day of training with Amplify CKLA. And during that time, they were able to add more information about tools that teachers can use in order to help guide planning, and provided some time for the teachers to dig into that resource a little bit more. Because when you implement a resource into something like ELA, it does take a lot of time in order to learn that and find your way around that resource. So that was really nice for us to have that time. The other thing that I would add is I think I might have shared this last board meeting as well, but it's so interesting as I walk out around the classrooms. Third grade right now is learning about body systems, so they are learning all about the skeletal system and what makes up bones, and I think they were learning about something about casting and why that helps, how that helps, what would happen if they didn't have casts. If you go to 4th grade, you're going to hear all about medieval times. So this morning I learned that they did not have obviously indoor plumbing in most of the homes, and so they used chamber pots and threw the contents out the window into the streets. And that woke a few kids up this morning at 8:10 in the morning. They didn't think that sounded too good. And then if you walk down to 5th grade, they are learning about ancient civilizations, so the Mayans, the Incas, and the Aztecs. So it is just really fun to walk through the building and see all of this content that kids are learning at the same time that they are learning to read, build that background knowledge, you know, as they move forward and learn to use those reading skills in different types of reading. So it's been really fun.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Helton.
As Dr. Myers mentioned, some of us got our site council started tonight. Middle school, we had a really good site council, spent a good amount of time talking about safety, which made me think about, I think I'd remiss, I hadn't put it in my report this month or last, but in September, we had a stray dog that got into our building at the middle school. We had a kitchen door that was open for about 40 seconds, longer than it should have been, and that's all that dog needed to get in. So we put us under a softer lockdown, low-level lockdown, just we didn't know what kind of dog it was and trying to get out of there. But there was a traveling teacher who goes with multiple buildings, and the lockdown I said over the intercom gave them a little more heightened awareness than was meant. And so that opened up an opportunity to say, hey, our vocab, our definitions aren't the same in every building. So the principals, we got together a couple weeks ago and we've lined that out. So all 4 buildings are using the same levels. We got an outside lockdown, meaning there's something going on outside the building, just no kids outside, no recess, that kind of thing. The soft lockdown, there's some medical emergency, just don't need kids in the hall, keep kids in the classroom, but school can continue. And then intruder lockdown for a very serious situation. But I just wanted to share that we did align that. It's the same in all 4 buildings now, and I think that's obviously a good thing. Thanks.
Thank you, Tyler. All right, Mr. Johnson.
Today we had visitors from Tyson that came out, and it's good to update that our Horns for Hope pantry is back up and running. We had our first give this last Saturday where we had students come up and we had people come through the front entryway, and we gave out, I forget how many boxes she said that we gave out, but anywhere from 10 to 20 families is what we helped out with that. The exciting news from Tyson is that they want to help donate. They donated a gift through Cram the Van, donated a gift to the Horns for Hope Pantry, but they also want to support it more as a monthly deal through food. So we were looking at storage space and what we need in order to be able to pick that up, but they want to donate protein for us on a monthly basis so that we can help give that out too. So they were really excited about being up. I just got another email from the lady that's in charge of that, saying that she's welcome or was excited to get back out and see all the good things that Melinda Gershberger's doing. She's doing a great job with it again, really got it going back. We're really excited. Thanks for Wheatland doing the Cram the Van. We have a lot more food to be able to put in our pantry and to give out. So really excited to get that back on track. The distribution for the Horns for Hope pantry will be about a month apart. So we just gave our last one. They're working to say what's the best weekend to make sure that we don't have a bunch of kids gone, so we can give that out for November. So that's all I got.
All right, thanks, Jerry. All right, let's move to unfinished business and new teachers at Wiley and Holcomb Elementary.
Each year, as we bring new teachers in onto the staff, we'd like to have the opportunity to have them introduced to you as board members. And so last month we had the secondary, the middle school and the high school. So this month we have the teachers at Wiley Elementary and Holcomb Elementary. So Amy, if you want to do yours first, please.
Okay, so I have 3 wonderful staff members at Wiley. I have
3
a second.
total, just 3. Oh, 3 new.
New.
Okay.
Everybody else is great too, in case you're listening. My new second grade teacher is Socorro Reyes, and she joins us from Liberal. My new first grade teacher is Allison Calderon, and she joins us from Syracuse. And our new elementary counselor at Wiley is Jacqueline Castillo, and she joins us from Garden.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay, I also have 3 new staff members. Only one was able to be here tonight. One went home sick today, and one other one was not able to be here this evening. So first of all, I have Laralee Lepke, who has been here and working in this district for a while in the role with High Plains, but she has moved into the district and is teaching 4th grade, doing an awesome job, and we're happy to have her in that role this year. We also have Allison Archuleta, who was unable to be here tonight, but she also moved from High Plains into the classroom and is teaching 4th grade this year. She wanted me to let everyone know how much she loves being back in the classroom and loves working for this district. And then also I have Natalie Ariza, who is our new High Plains teacher, and she's done a great job, came from Deerfield, I believe. Deerfield or Lakin, one of the two. And she's doing a great job, but she did go home sick today, so was unable to be here.
All right, thank you. Welcome. Okay, let's move to student presentation, fail forward program, class
right.
pet.
Each year we have the Fail Forward mini grant competitions take place. Teachers or anybody who works within the district can write for and receive, if they're chosen, a $500 grant. And it's not just a freebie. You have to really apply for it and put in a good plan and whatnot. Well, Miss Shelton has received one this year, and so we're going to allow her students to kind of tell you what's going on. And Ms. Tyne and I had the pleasure earlier today, they presented the presentation to us, split into 4 different groups, and the research they had done is, I'll let Keely tell you more.
Okay, so I'm super excited. They are super excited. And so I'll kind of tell you a little bit about it. Obviously, there's a lot more background to this. They worked on presentations, they did their research projects, they did the outline. I mean, they did it from the ground up. So I'm super proud of them, and I'm so excited that 5 of them are here to share it with you. So, hi, my name is Keely Shelton. If you did not know who I was, hello. I teach 3rd grade, and I was asked to share this project with you guys and to brag on these amazing little humans behind me, not just the 5, but the entire 19. 2 of them were brand new and started last week and dove right into this project with us, so very proud of them. The students that I have are Emery, and then I have Junior, Miles, Kason, and then Colt. So they all have a little speech that they'd like to tell you too. So when I first received my class list, I knew I had an exceptional group of kids, and I was super excited. I've been challenged a lot of different ways within the classroom, but very rarely do I get to challenge these higher order thinking pieces to my students. So I knew this year I was going to have to come up with ideas to get them to that creative level of thinking. And the second day of school, weren't even in school for a whole 8 hours, the students, actually more particularly all of them behind me, were like, Mrs. Shelton, why do you not have a class pet? And I was like, because I'm not that cool, it's fine. No, we were playing a would you rather, trying to get to know each other, and the would you rather came out to a hedgehog or a pig, right? Yes. And so they were like, why don't you have a class pet? And I was like, because it's really expensive and I'm a teacher. And I love my job, but I don't want to pay for this class pet. So I explained to them how much responsibility it was going to take, how expensive it was, and that it would have to come out of my pocket. And Colt actually looked around the room and said, well, you have $500 right there. And it was one of the old grants that I received last year for the Learning Lab. And I was like, yeah, it's not valid though. And he's like, well, why can't we do it again? And so the whole class, well, why can't we do it again? Why can't you get $500? And I said, well, we're going to have to just put a pause on that. And they went to lunch that day, and I think I even found Mrs. Tyne in the lunchroom and said, my kids want a class pet. Can I do this for the Fail Forward grant? And she was like, absolutely. I said, okay. So that's what I'm doing. So I told them that this was all them. Like, there was no Mrs. Shelton's brain for this. This had to be their knowledge and their effort to make this thing happen. So obviously, as a teacher, I had to have a vision. I had to guide them somewhere. I didn't just let them say, peace out, and, do your job. No, I had a vision, and my vision of the project was to have the students read and convince Mrs. Tyne and Dr. Myers that they deserved this class pet. So I guided them through the process, but ultimately it was all of their information and all of their knowledge. We created 4 groups in order to break apart the project. We have a budget group, an information group, a rules group, and a persuasive group, and they will all tell you why each group was super important. This project, like I said, came from the very bottom. Like, this was all them. I just told them, yes, that's a good idea, or maybe not. Like the snake, no, not happening. So we had to guide through which pet we really could truly have. So it took a lot of patience from them and myself, but the enthusiasm that they had to make this project real is amazing. So I'm super excited for them to tell you.
The persuasive group was in charge of coming up with ideas in order to persuade Dr. Myers and Mrs. Tyne why we wanted this class pet. We explained how this pet would help us use to be responsible, good listeners, creators, and hard workers.
The budget group was in charge of searching all the important tools we need to take care of this pet. We've found food, bedding, and a cage, and more without going over the $500 budget. We are able to spend $388 now. We have about 100 extra for the items we may need later on the year.
Our information group researched facts about a guinea pig and a hedgehog. They were in charge of giving as many facts to the class, good or bad, in order for the class to vote on their favorite animal.
Our rules group was in charge of researching information about the pet in order for it to stay safe. Then they put up that information into rules that everyone has to follow. There are rules for the classroom and there are rules for at home. Yes, we get to take this pet home over the weekends if our parents allow it.
Completing this project has been super fun, but it has also taught us a lot about working hard, collaboration, responsibility, and cooperation. We hope you see this as us and Ms. Shelton taking a risk on a project in the classroom. Thank you for allowing us to tell you about our dream turned into reality.
When do you anticipate actually getting the guinea pig?
Do you remember when I'll go get it?
Thursday morning?
It'll be in the classroom.
Thursday.
It'll be there Thursday morning? All right, cool. And I'm assuming you'll have to worry about naming the guinea pig and whatnot?
Any suggestions?
What did you guys come up with? There was one, Hedgie for the hedgehog, but we're not getting the hedgehog, or Sonic for the hedgehog. What was the guinea pig? They threw around some names last week.
Somebody said Taylor.
Taylor. Guinea. I think Guinea was one of them. Guinea the guinea pig. But we'll vote on that one too.
Yep, I'm assuming. All right, so Thursday morning be the unveiling. All right. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Good job, kids.
Good job.
Thanks, guys.
There's cookies over here, kids, I'm assuming.
Didn't know they got trees.
Yeah.
All right, while they're getting their cookies, we'll move to the student presentation barn project.
There you go. The barn is fully functioning, up and rolling. I don't know if they installed the fans this week yet, but they're there. And we're waiting, once they get the conduit project done, then we get our cameras delivered. That really puts to the finishes it off. So the point now is we're actually starting to look at the academic programming piece of it. So Marcy and some of our students obviously are here to tell you about what's going on with the barn.
They're probably glad that third graders left because they're. Okay, so I have a group of kids with me where they're going to talk to you about our Adopt an Animal project with the barn. We have been working on developing lessons and different activities to teach to the elementary and both elementary schools. So I'm not going to say much because, like Ms. Shelton said, this is their project. So I will turn it over to them.
As a class, we gave barn tours to 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders last week. This week, we're going to be giving tours to K through 2nd grade. The children were split up into different groups, and by the time they were finished, we talked to them about expectations, tack, fitting and bracing stands, pins, the trailer, and goats. We decided to give tours of the barn first so everyone knew where everything was. Doing this, we are hoping to teach the students more about ag and why it is so important.
To prepare for this lesson, as a class, we worked on getting a lesson plan together by coming up with ideas on our own, then sharing them with the class, and agreeing on which ideas were best. Once that was done, we practiced speaking at the barn. Individually, we each had an area to talk about at the barn. Each of us were responsible for creating a list of things to talk about.
These are some pictures. This is our opening poster, Adopt an Animal project.
Which the students designed all of the posters.
These are the two ag entrepreneurship and ag processing classes. These are the four classes that the two ag entrepreneurship classes taught. And then we are each going to go through our personal experience and what we are doing in these pictures. So I'm going to start us off. So my name is Jacob Novak. My experience was getting to interact with the kids and presenting what we do in the barn. I also enjoyed getting to know the kids' personalities and what the kids like to do on their free time after the presentation. What I'm doing in this picture is explaining what we use goat and sheep stands for and what different ways you can use them for.
My name is Connor Brungar. I'm a junior. I had the opportunity to give information about the pins. Overall, I had a really good experience. I enjoyed everything from seeing the barn myself, preparing for the presentation, and finally giving it. What I liked most about this presentation was answering questions and just getting to know the interest in ag, FFA, and the barn. It really just makes me happy to see the interest in the industry. In this photo, I'm giving information about the pins and some general safety rules. Thank you.
I'm Renee Knoll, and I talked about the tack pins.
I really enjoyed teaching to the little kids. I thought it went really good, and a lot of the kids were involved and interested in what I was talking about. I liked answering questions and talking to them, and I liked that the kids were involved in asking questions. In this picture, I was talking about tack pins and the things we keep in there. I was also explaining what we would use those things for and how we use them. The kids were active and interested in the lesson.
Hi, I'm Luis Gonzalez Treto, and I had fun interacting with the kids. I thought it went really good, and the kids were interested and enjoyed it, and teaching them what we do here at the barn. I liked answering some of the questions the kids had, and also laughing at their jokes and having fun with them. In this picture, I was explaining to them what the tack part of the barn is and what is kept there, also how to use the tools properly for what they're supposed to be used for.
Hi, I'm Charmaine Morford. I had a lot of fun teaching these kids. They were a little intimidating at first, and I struggled opening up to them with the first group of kids I had. But once I presented a couple of times, it was really easy to talk to the kids and get to know them a lot better. I enjoyed answering questions the kids had and talking to them about the goats that are in the pens. They had a lot of questions about that, but I also talked to them about safety in the barn. I liked when the kids had the questions about the barns. Overall, teaching the kids was definitely a success. In this picture, I'm telling the kids what the outside pins are and why we have them and why we didn't have the goats in them at that time. I also discussed what we use a trailer for and how to load and unload the animals.
Hello, my name is Adrian Guerrero, and so here's my presentation. I really had fun teaching the kids about the barn. At first, I was kind of nervous with the first two groups, but as we continued, I got the hang of it. I really enjoyed answering the questions at the end of each group. I also liked how each group of kids had different questions. In this photo, I was about to start talking about the rules until this kid needed a quick drink of water, so I waited for him to finish his drink.
I'm Emily Dryden. For our first lesson, I feel like everything went really well. After talking to some of the children, they really enjoyed getting to see farm animals because most of them have never seen a goat in person before. I had a lot of fun teaching the children about the barn and where everything was. I really enjoyed getting to teach to the younger generation about something I'm so passionate about. In this picture, I'm showing the students how to use a bracing table with a stuffed goat. I also talked to them about fitting stands and how to get a goat ready for a show.
I had a couple that couldn't be here. Mercedes Sokup was at work this evening, but what she had to say was that about her experience was that she really liked giving the little kids a tour of the barn. It was a really neat experience for her. Her favorite part was that she liked seeing how excited the kids were to be at the barn and to learn new stuff and to be able to see the goats. So she's talking about, in this picture, different rules and expectations of the pins and why we used things like vertical panels and so on and so forth, and what animals can be kept in the pens. And I'm not sure where Brooklyn's words went, but Brooklyn is on her way home from regional golf, and hold on just a second. Not sure what happened there, but Brooklyn said that she really liked giving the tours and she thought it went really well because the kids loved it and were remembering things that she was teaching them, so she liked that they were retaining the information. And she liked how involved they were and that she just really loved hanging out with the kids. Her favorite thing was that the kids had a lot of energy, so they were really fun to teach because they were just so amazed by everything that she was talking to them about. So in this picture, Brooklyn is introducing the goats to the kids. They loved interacting with the goats and getting to pet them. And you'll notice in the bottom right there, kind of by Brooklyn's foot, each of the kids split up and designed like get-to-know-me cards for each goat. And they also designed an expectation poster and then a welcome poster for the kids to do. And then they We worked with Mr. Mersman, and he printed those out for us and put them on the cardboard, like paper, so they looked really nice. We didn't attach those anywhere just because we're not sure which pins are going to end up being homes. So, but the kids liked seeing that, and they came up with like personalities just from, you know, hanging out with the goats when we've been down there practicing, and I helped them a little bit with that as well. But for our first lesson, they did an awesome job. They're always, whenever we do elementary presentation, my high school kids always seem to get extra nervous and they start to freak out, but they were rock stars. The first day we saw some challenges with just the excitement of the younger kids, something new, something they weren't familiar with, and so on and so forth. So staying in groups and just listening and following expectations were kind of wild, but they handled it, and they kind of really took the reins with the project, and we definitely I look forward to seeing what they come up with next. So I will turn it back over to Adrian to talk to you about that. But first, with any of the pictures, do you guys have any questions on anything so far? All right, well, we'll turn it back to Adrian to wrap it up.
Okay. With the Adopt an Animal program, our plan in the future is to have elementary schools in the district adopt a goat and have the kids learn about nutrition, care, and information about the goats. They're learned by doing activities that are related to agriculture at the barn, and for students that weren't able to go to the barn that week, we'll put together weekly video updates so they won't miss out.
I guess that one of the, pardon me. I was going to ask you guys, so the Adopt an Animal program, will it just be goats? Will it be pigs? Will it be snakes?
Absolutely no snakes.
How about pigs that are more than 150 pounds?
Yes, the Adopt program right now will just consist of the goats, just because they're what we have year-round at this point. Now, in the future, it could definitely expand. And then as the seasons change and students start to get other animals in the barn, then there's still opportunity for lessons about those different types of animals. But what we'll be tracking each week would be a goat at this point until we expand further.
How big does a pot-bellied pig get? You could have a year-round.
You think the show
pot-bellied
pigs are going to tear up something?
No, they're like little puppies.
Usually there's a pot-bellied pig running around town here and there.
With all the cats.
Yes. I do not fuel their fire. They have been online auction searching for a mini fluffy cow already, so.
Do you need miniature donkeys?
No, Matthew. No. The miniature donkeys were out on that
I'll
one.
give them to you.
I've been trying to give one to the other Marcy for a while.
Yeah, we've been working on. She taking this. I just drop them off.
No, she won't.
You don't have to be there when we drop them off, Curtis.
He thinks with either one Marcy or the other, he's bound to get rid of them. But the Hallie,
Yeah, well, the Hallie.
she says no.
Good for her, yeah.
Thank you for coming tonight and
Thank you, guys.
sharing with us the information.
Thank you.
And there's cookies over here if you want a cookie.
Did they get a cookie?
Yeah, I offered it to them. Grab a cookie. They're not going to eat themselves.
All right, let's move to KISA work and Dr. Myers.
All right. I just wanted to mention to you, we are in the second year of a 5-year cycle, and our goals are growth model goals. The state seems to be pushing a gotcha model. We're fighting against that tooth and toenail. And what this all boils down to is, in the future, there's going to be 3 levels of accreditation: fully accredited, conditionally accredited, not accredited. And the reason I get so passionate about this is because to be fully accredited, they've not defined what academic success is yet. And they're leaning toward the state assessments. The state assessments, it's an important data point, but it's just that, it's one. And it's a moment in time. The growth model, a la like FastBridge, we test the kids throughout the year, and we are able to see and track their growth or whatever's going on. So you see on the piece of paper what our 3 goals are. We want 80% of our kids to be typical and or aggressive growth in ESL. It says ESL, it should be ELA. ELA and also in math, and then also 100% of our kids will be engaged with the SEL curriculum. The 5 state board outcomes, that also is dovetailed into all this stuff, and they're listed for you as well. The kindergarten readiness, locally measured SEL data, individual plans of study, graduation rate, and post-secondary success rate. Well, like I said, we're in year 2 of a 5-year process. So as we continue down this path, I will keep you informed, and particularly if we start seeing that they are putting up stakes around, by gum, it has to be the state assessment that counts. It's just, in my mind's eye, it's nonsensical to do that. It's an important data point to look at, but it's not a growth model, so. Yeah, exactly. That's it.
All right, let's move to ESSER 3 update.
Received word Friday. We got through the tribunal, and then I poked around today because sometimes you lose information from the state of Kansas, and our stuff, our final stuff that we put in, is going to the state board for approval tomorrow. That's exciting. I don't anticipate anything shutting it down, but you never know. It's not a yes until it's a yes, but it's on the docket to be handled. And dovetailed into that is our director of student services, instructional services, and the social worker. And so with a positive response, we'll start advertising. The way we're looking at doing it is bringing somebody on at the first of the year. But there's enough money there if we were to find somebody quicker, would bring them on. And the people, who, as we look at this, they flat out will know this is a 1.5-year job. That's it. Because the money is gone September of 24. So, but the good news is we've gotten all the way through the different checks. We just have to get the final approval tomorrow.
All right, let's move to new business and donation.
We have a $500 donation. It came to us as a thank you, actually. And so very nicely heartfelt thank you note for one of the families involved with us hosting the celebration of life in our facilities for Mr. Reinhardt. So I recommend that the board accept the fiscal donation to the district.
So moved.
Second it.
Ryan Ruda and Jill. It's been moved and seconded to accept the donation from the Reinhardt family. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, electronic display board.
I was hoping for some new news for you tonight, but I don't have any at this point. Lance and Tony and I got together a week and a half ago. We're kind of tracking out where it goes. I now know how wide they're needing to get into our grass to make that dedicated turning lane onto Jones off of Main. I'm waiting for them to bring forward the request for easement, kind of like Wheatland did this meeting a year ago. So it's a go. We will just be involved in the, pay for the electricity as we move down the path. But they've got all the equipment. They're ready to install. I just need that legal document so you guys can say yes, and we can move on. So it's exciting. It'll be right out here in the corner. Unfortunately, where they're wanting to put it, they need to do this anyway just for the lane. We will lose one tree, the one on the very corner. But that's necessary to create the turning lane, which hopefully helps us in the mornings. So this is still in process.
We probably need to check to see how old that tree is once it is cut down.
I'm sure it's old.
All right, executive session.
20 minutes.
Anyone else?
The principals.
Principals?
Please. Yep.
Okay, let's see. Do we need to make it a even or odd number? Okay. All right, let's go into executive session for 20 minutes at 7:50 with Dr. Myers and the principals.
Harumph.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Jill and Casey. Moved and seconded to go into executive session at 7:50 for 20 minutes with Dr. Myers and the principals. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. This coffee place. So those are, that's it. The three personnel and
Down 17-7.
All right, we are back in session. I need a motion to hire Patricia Olguin as a full-time custodian.
So moved. Second.
So is Ryan Shrivogel and Curtis. Moved and seconded to hire Patricia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I need a motion to approve the supplementals as presented.
So moved.
Ryan Ruda
Second.
and Curtis. Moved and seconded to hire the supplementals as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yep.
Jill and Curtis, because you just said yep, Ryan. Okay. Moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Yes.
Opposed?
Aye, whatever.
You shut this thing off.
Yes, ma'am.
Suck. Defense is terrible.
There's no room for my, I'm afraid to put my paper in there. Yeah, I don't wanna, yeah, I'm afraid to put my paper in there.
Back slot.